Hello, today we are going to discuss about fundamental literacy and numeracy, an urgent and necessary prerequisite to learning. This is a sub-segment of first part, which is school education. Let's start. Foundational literacy and numeracy, an urgent and necessary prerequisite to learning. The ability to read and write and perform basic operations with numbers is a necessary foundation and an indispensable prerequisite for all the future schooling and lifelong learning. However, various government as well as non-governmental surveys indicate that we are currently in a learning crisis. A large portion of students is currently elementary school, estimated to over 5 crore number 5 crores of numbers have not attained foundational literacy and numeracy. That is the ability to read and comprehend basic text, ability to carry out basic addition and subtraction with Indian numerals. Then attaining foundational literacy, numeracy for all children will thus become an urgent national mission, with immediate measures to be taken on many fronts and with clear goals that will be attained in the short term, including that every student will attain foundational literacy and numeracy by grade 3. The highest priority of the education system will be to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary school by 2025. The rest of the policy will become relevant for our students only if this most basic learning requirement, that is reading, writing, arithmetic at the foundational level, is first achieved. To this end, a national mission on foundational literacy and numeracy will be set up by Ministry of Human Resource and Development on priority basis. Accordingly, all state and union territory governments will immediately prepare an implementation plan for attaining universal foundational literacy and numeracy in all primary schools, identifying stage-wise targets and goals to be achieved by 2025 and closely tracking and monitoring progress of the same. First, teacher vacancies will be filled at the earliest in a time-bound manner, especially in advantaged areas and especially in disadvantaged areas and areas with large pupil to teacher ratios or high rate of illiteracy. Special attention will be given to employing local teachers or those with familiarity with local languages. A pupil teacher ratio (PTR) of under 30:1 will be ensured at the level of each school. Areas having large numbers of socio-economically disadvantaged students will aim for a pupil teacher ratio under 25:1. Teachers will be trained, encouraged and supported with continuous professional development to impart foundational literacy and numeracy. On the curricular side, there will be an increased focus on foundational literacy and numeracy and generally on reading, writing, speaking, counting, arithmetic and mathematical thinking throughout the preparatory and middle school curriculum with a robust system of continuous formative, adaptive assessment to track and thereby individualize and ensure each student's learning. Specific hours, daily and regular events over the year on activities involving these subjects will be dedicated to encourage and enthuse students. Teacher education and the early grade curriculum will be redesigned to have a renewed emphasis on foundational literacy and numeracy. Currently, with the lack of universal access to early childcare and education, a large proportion of children already fall behind within the first few weeks of grade 1. Thus, to ensure that all students are school ready, an interim 3-month play-based school preparation module for all grade 1 students consisting of activities, workbooks around the learning of alphabets, sounds, words, colors, shapes, and numbers involving collaboration with peers and parents will be developed by NCERTs and SCERTs. A national repository of high quality resources on foundational literacy and numeracy will be made available on the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, that is called Diksha. Technology interventions to serve as aid to teachers and to help bridge any language barriers that may exist between teachers and students will be piloted and implemented in due course. Due to the scale of current learning crisis, all viable methods will be explored to support teachers in the mission of attaining universal foundational literacy and numeracy. Studies around the world show one-on-one peer tutoring to be extremely effective for learning, not just for the learner but also for the tutor. Thus, peer tutoring can be taken up as a voluntary and joyful activity for fellow students under the supervision of trained teachers and by taking care of safety aspects. Additionally, it will also be made far easier for trained volunteers from both the local community and beyond to participate in this large-scale mission. Every literate member of the community could commit to teaching one student or person how to read. It would change the country's landscape very quickly. States may consider establishing innovative models to foster such peer tutoring and volunteer activities as well as launch other programs to support learners in this nationwide mission to promote foundational literacy and numeracy. Enjoyable and inspirational books for all the students at all levels will be developed, including through high quality translation, technology assisted as needed in all local and Indian languages, and will be made available extensively in both school and local public libraries. Public and school libraries will be significantly expanded to build a culture of reading across the country. Digital libraries will also be established. School libraries will be set up particularly in villages to serve the community during non-school hours, and book clubs may meet in public or school libraries to further facilitate and promote widespread reading. A national book promotion policy will be formulated and extensive initiatives will be undertaken to ensure the availability, accessibility, quality, and readership of books across the geographies, languages, levels, and genres. Children are unable to learn optimally when they are undernourished or unwell. Hence, nutrition and health, including mental health of children, will be addressed through healthy meals and the introduction of well-trained social workers, counselors, and community involvement into the schooling system. Furthermore, the research shows that the morning hours after a nutritious breakfast can be particularly productive for the study of cognitively more demanding subjects, and hence these hours may be leveraged by providing a simple but energizing breakfast in addition to midday meals. In locations where hot meals are not possible, a simple but nutritious meals, example groundnut, nuts, chanas mixed with jaggery and local fruits may be provided. All school children shall undergo regular health checkups, especially for 100% immunization in schools, and health cards will be issued to monitor the same. Then third part is curtailing dropout rates and ensuring universal access to education at all levels. One of the primary goals of the schooling system must be to ensure that children are enrolled in and are attending school. Through initiatives such as the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, now it is Samagra Shiksha, and the Right to Education Act, India has made remarkable strides in recent years in attaining near universal enrollment in elementary education. However, the data for later grades indicates some serious issues in retaining children in the schooling system. The gross enrollment ratio for grades 6 to 8 was 90%, while for grade 9 to 10 it is, and 10 to 12, 11 to 12 it is 79% and 56% respectively, indicating that a significant proportion of enrolled students drop out after grade 5 and especially after grade 8. As per the 75th round household survey by NSSO in 2017 and 18, the number of out of school going children in the age group of 6 to 17 years is 3.22 crore. It will be a top priority to bring these children back into the educational fold as early as possible and to prevent further students from dropping out, with a goal to achieve 100% gross enrollment ratio in preschool to secondary school level by 2030. A concerted national effort will be made to ensure universal access and afford opportunity to all the children of the country to attend quality holistic education, including vocational education from preschool to grade 12. There are two overall initiatives that will be undertaken to bring children who have dropped out back to school and to prevent further children from dropping out from the schools. The first is to provide effective and sufficient infrastructure so that all students have access to safe and engaging school education at all levels from pre-primary school to grade 12. Besides providing regular trained teachers at each stage, special care shall be taken to ensure that no school remains deficient on infrastructure support. The credibility of government schools shall be re-established, and this will be attained by upgrading and enlarging the schools that already exist, building additional quality schools in areas where they don't exist, and providing safe and practical conveyances or hostels especially for the girl children so that all children have the opportunity to attend the quality school and learn at the appropriate level. Alternative and innovative education centers will be put in place in cooperation with civil society to ensure that children of migrant laborers and other children who are dropping out from school due to various circumstances are brought back into mainstream education. The second is to achieve universal participation in school by carefully tracking students as well as their learning levels in order to ensure that they are enrolled in attending school and have the opportunities to catch up and re-enter the school in case they have fallen behind or dropped out. For providing equitable and quality education from the foundational stage through grade 12 to all children up to the age of 18, suitable facilitating systems should be put in place. Counselors or well-trained social workers connected to schools or school complexes and teachers will continuously work with students, and their parents will travel through and engage with the communities to ensure that all school going children are attending and learning in school. Trained and qualified social workers from civil society organizations or Department of Social Justice and Empowerment and government functionaries dealing with empowerment of persons with disabilities at the state and district levels would be connected to schools through various innovative mechanisms adopted by state or union territories governments to help in carrying out this important work. Once infrastructure and participation are in place, ensuring quality will be the key in retention of students, so that they, particularly girls and students from other socio-economically disadvantaged groups, don't lose interest in attending schools. This will require a system of incentives for deploying teachers with knowledge of the local language to areas with high dropout rates, as well as overhauling the curriculum to make it more engaging and useful. To facilitate learning for all students with special emphasis on socio-economical disadvantaged groups, the scope of children education will be broadened to facilitate multiple pathways to learning and facilitate multiple pathways to learning involving both formal and non-formal education modes. Open and distance learning programs offered by the National Institute of Open Schooling and state open schools will be expanded and strengthened for meeting the learning needs of young people in India who are not able to attend physical schools. NIOS and state open schools will offer the following programs in addition to the present programs: ABC levels that are equivalent to grade 3, 5, 8 of the former school pattern. Secondary education programs that are equivalent to grade 10 and 12, vocational education courses or programs, and adult literacy and life enrichment programs. State will be encouraged to develop these offerings in regional languages by establishing new or strengthening existing state institutes of open schooling. To make it easier for both governments as well as non-governmental philanthropic organizations to build schools to encourage local variations in account of culture, geography, demographics, and to allow alternative models of education, and the requirements for schools will be made less restrictive. The focus will be to have less emphasis on input and greater emphasis on the output potential concerning desired learning outcomes. Regulations on inputs will be limited to certain areas as enumerated in Chapter 8. Other models for schools will also be piloted, such as public, philanthropic, and partnerships. Efforts will be made to involve community and alumni in volunteer efforts for enhancing learning by providing at schools one-to-one tutoring, the teaching of literacy, holding of extra help sessions, teaching support and guidance for educators, career guidance, and mentoring to students, etc. In this regard, the support of active and healthy senior citizens, school alumni, and local community members will be suitably garnered. Databases of illiterate volunteers and retired scientists or government or semi-government employees, alumni or educators will be created for this purpose. In our next session, we will discuss about curriculum and pedagogy in schools. Learning should be holistic, integrated, enjoyable, and engaging. Restructuring school curriculum and pedagogy in a new 5+3+3+4 design. Thank you.